So we planted 720 meters of almond syntropic rows. We have 3 lines here, in total 125 almonds, spaced out 6 meters by 6 meters. And in between we're also going to have the grapes that are going to climb up the eucalyptus. And eventually this grevillea as well, that will take over the eucalyptus. It's kind of a test to see if the grevillea will work well growing below the eucalyptus. If not, once the eucalyptus time has gone, we will just replant the grevillea here. But here we have a consortium of Acacia saligna planted every meter. So they planted every meter on the row except from where the almonds are. So there's 4 acacias every 6 meters. We also have the casuarina here. It will be spaced out 1.5 meters away from the almonds. This plant doesn't really shade the almonds so much, so it shouldn't be a problem. And yes, we will have the grapes climbing up the eucalyptus here. And in between, we haven't planted them yet. We have myroporum that we planted by cutting in the greenhouse. So we're waiting for them to be strong enough to plant. So hopefully in a month or 2, we'll plant that in February. And yeah, we also planted some succulents in between. We got tons of succulents here. So we got aloe vera every 25 centimeters. We got aloe vera, or this other plant, the Ionium, which I'm going to show it just right over here. This one as well. I've seen these growing without irrigation and being like big like that, more or less after 1 year. So quite good. Quite good. They're going to store the water in their leaves, going to protect all these plants. It's amazing. And we also just organized the mulch as two stacks of straw on either side. A nice little stack of 30 centimeters. And to provide this little like concave shape here that will keep the moisture in. And we also planted some garlic on the other side because we've seen that in this soil garlic works pretty well, so we just planted it all along here. That's going to be for green tops. So we got 500 meters of garlic planted, so that's the idea. And then below the mulch here, we also have some broad beans. These are from last year. We got some broad beans that are going to come up through the straw. That's the idea, to not have to weed. That's really important, because if we have nearly 800 meters of lines like that, if we have to weed, it's going to be a pain in the ass, that's for sure. So good to have this good amount of straw, and also the broad beans are gonna take over. I hope they're gonna come through all this mulch, but that's supposed to be good, going through 20 centimeters of mulch or so. So the idea with these lines is we'll water them pretty much as these lines here. So it's gonna only be around 5,000 liters a week per line, more or less, if my calculations are right. And then in the next year, since we don't have that much water, we're not going to do it now. So we're going to plant some rows of artichokes in between these lines. 6 meters in between the lines, so at center here at 3 meters, we'll have artichokes. So we have 720 meters of artichokes as well. They're going to be here, here, and in this other row here, with the space. The idea as well is I think they'll enjoy a little bit more protection from the other plants after 1 year. But yeah, that could provide a really nice crop. And also, if they don't crop so well, biomass, it's always good. We're going to propagate all the artichokes ourselves in the greenhouse, so that's going to cost us only the seeds. So, to be honest, I think it is a good idea. We're going to ponder on that idea, and hopefully next October we can plant that. One point I forgot to make about the amendments and the preparation of the soil is that here we just saw that the best way to dig the soil here with this compaction, this level of compaction, is it's not enough to just go with a subsoiler. So we really went with a digger here that dug about 1 meter deep. It took him, to do all these lines, it took him, I think, half day's work, 30 euro the hour, so around 150 euros, something like that, to prepare that. Then we added compost that we bought. It's another pile of, let's say, 200 euros. And we had a guy come with a rotavator after to make the bed really fluffy and that it's easy to plant, because when you have all these plants to plant, if you just go with a subsoiler, the soil is not as good and it's just going to be not flat, and you might lose some plants to it. So it takes much less time in planting afterwards. That barely took us a day of work how many plants, I don't really know, but there is, yeah, maybe 1,000 plants so far. We have to plant another 500 or 1,000 later on. Boldo and Myoporum and Artemisia. But yeah, we didn't add that much compost, to be honest. We just added like a shovel every 25 centimeters, something like that. And just added some manure around the fruit trees. That's all we did. Added some ashes as well, which we got for free from the hotel, from all the fires that happened inside. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just also we had all this straw that we had from the wheat that we grown last year. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna cover that, these lines in between, with this plant that I've managed to seed really well by hand last year. Planted the seeds, added a tiny bit of straw on top, and they're growing. It's called viscosa, and you can see like plenty of little plants are growing here, and they can grow quite tall. They can grow like that. So they're perennial plants as well. So that's quite an amazing plant in this climate, to have something green during the summer. So then we're gonna keep cutting them, and then once we have these 3 interrows are full with them, like they're gonna seed like crazy over there, and then we'll be able to plant over here. We can already see in the field over there, there's plenty of these plants. So this is a Diticha viscosa. It flowers profusely, very easy to collect a lot of seeds if you have enough plants. And you can see over there in the distance, just zoom a bit so they can see, all of these are just self-seeded. And we've had the wheat here cut, and they keep on regrowing. You can cut them every month, they will come back. So this is such a good plant for this climate. And yeah, just gonna make the interrows green during the summer, which is quite a luxury in the Mediterranean in a climate like that.